Yo, what up, Knicks fans? This is Sheer Brilliance from the Sheer Brilliance podcast, checking in with you. Rise and grind. Beautiful day out here. I'm not sure how it is in New York right now, but I'm in Indiana. Beautiful day. So I'm about to get on this bike for that bike life real quick, get moving so Julius don't be on there talking about us because he's grinding. But man, with Julius, man, I know everybody got the opinion, bro. People are for, people are against, people are just like give him a chance. He's young, but some things that are just obvious, bro. It's just like I'm not sure how long does it take you to get used to the public scrutiny that you get in New York, man. You know what I mean? As a player, bro, we've seen him perform at a high level, but it was in the bubble type of environment, bro. The bubble type of atmosphere that he's performing in, man. And you never know how someone performs in a high pressure situation, bro. And 9 times out of 10, none of us was in that position at that high level, under that high of a scrutiny, man. So it's kind of wrong for us to be able to judge him based on that because we've never been in that situation. We would love to think about how we would respond, but it's not necessarily that easy. You know what I mean? So with that, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, man. People will talk about how he performed in L.A. Being on the same team as Kobe Bryant is the same thing as performing in New York, bro. You know what I mean? Because Kobe is going to put that level of pressure on you to play up to his level. You know what I mean? But I don't know, man. It's just like, you can watch workout videos, and you see him grinding in the off season, but all of that, once again, is without the New York fan base. And people will talk about New York fans and how impatient they are, and honestly, man, we hungry to win, bro. We're not just hungry to win. We're hungry to see progress, not steps back. You know what I mean? I know, once again, that also falls on the coach, too. I'm a Coach Tibbs fan, man. I'm about to put a video out, but what y'all saying ain't false. You know what I mean? He got to get it together. He got to be able to change it up. When he first arrived and we started thriving, it was because, you know what I mean, he did make adjustments. He showed that he was willing to bring in some of the young cats and let them be them. You know what I mean? I don't care what anybody says, that type of structure and discipline that Tibbs brings is what's needed in New York. You know what I mean? Because you got to be able to tune out all the like Knicks content creators, critics that are going to be on major media platforms, and this generation of players is tuned into the media. You know what I mean? So you need somebody who is disciplined enough, who will be able to command their attention, to be able to snap them out of it and help them zone in. We look at other coaches at other teams, like a Monty Williams, things of that nature. But these coaches and everybody are thriving, or the coach of Memphis Grizzlies, they're thriving in environments that are not on major markets. So it's easy for them to get their team to log in. You know what I mean? So I think Tibbs is the coach for us. And I think Tibbs faces a lot of the same criticism, a lot of the same scrutiny as Andy Reid did when he was in the NFL. You know what I mean? When they was just saying, he's a good coach, but he's never going to be the coach of a championship team. All it takes is for you to get that player who can maybe cover up some of the flaws of the teammates, you know what I mean, that they're missing out on, or maybe even cover up some of the occasional flaws that the coach makes. All you need is a player, you know what I mean, either that player that's the perfect match to everybody else that's on the team, or that player that's a transcendent player. And that's all I'll be asking for when I make that post that says, you know what I mean, Leon needs to make a signature move. It's not that I want this superstar. I think people watch the videos and they paint that I'm asking for the superstar that's going to come in and solve all the problems. That's not what I'm asking. You know what I mean? What I'm asking for is, do you have enough foresight to see talent in a player that is like the last piece to the puzzle that we already have? I'm down with building for the youth. We have that. You know what I mean? We already have that with the youth. We have promising pieces. We know that if given the right system, and also if given the opportunity to stay together and build that chemistry, that we could build something strong. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that we got to trade for the superstar. All I'm saying is have enough foresight. You have an eye for talent. We know that. You know what I mean? You've worked with these players. You had a roster. You have connections. Worldwide West, Walt Perham, all of them cats are in place to be able to build what we need for sustainable winning into the future. You know what I mean? What I talk about in terms of being on the clock is just that. Are you going to show that you can, piece a package together to move up in the draft? You know what I mean? To pull a player that's going to be one of the final pieces to this young core that we have that'll help us build and move forward. That's a signature move. Or you're going to bring in somebody who is, talented enough, that has the potential that you could see hasn't reached their peak yet, but also has the ability to be able to come in, be on the same timeline as the young cast that we have, you know what I mean, and help take us to the next level. You know what I mean? Or if we move Julius is a stud player, bro. You know what I mean? Just not in New York. You know what I mean? I think already, if he would have had those struggles and not did certain things such as, flip off the fans, and we know what we are, but he knows what we can do as well when we behind him. You know what I mean? Everybody else in the league is clowning us because we're saying MVP when he's at the line. You know what I mean? That's not for real MVP consideration if he was having a rough season or even if he was having a smooth season. That was Knicks fans' way of saying, yo, we got you. And we think more of you than the rest of the league is. Now everybody on the outside is criticizing Knicks fans saying, oh, you run away your players, this, that, and the third. No, talk about when we show them love and you call us delusional. Talk about that. You know what I mean? So I ain't trying to hear all that BS. I want for Julius to be in a situation where, he's not stressed, his family's not stressed. You know what I mean? Everybody is in a good space and he's playing at a high level. And honestly, I believe that's not in New York. That's in a place like Dallas. So I just think it's funny because the front office, one thing I absolutely love about our front office is, these cats never let you know what their next moves are. You know what I mean? They've been here for about 3 years now. We've never been able to predict their moves. And that's a dope thing because prior to that, it's about all this bluster, whether Isaiah Thomas, everybody in the media talking through the media, and it puts pressure on us and then we don't perform and they got something else to add to their narrative. You know what I mean? But this front office, like it or love it or hate it, you know what I mean? We never know what their next moves are. So hopefully what Dallas is talking in terms of not willing to do a sign and trade, hopefully that once again, that's a smokescreen. And Leon and Wesley and Walt Perrin are working their magic behind the scenes in terms of relationships and putting together a package that's fruitful for both parties involved. I don't think it's a coincidence that Julius was out there watching basketball in Dallas. I don't think that's a coincidence. I don't think it's a coincidence that, I want Mitch to stay. You know what I mean? I know that's not points from the 5 position, but it's not about points. It's about having someone who can erase your mistakes at the last minute. It's about having a backup who can come in and erase your mistakes at the last minute in Jericho. You know what I mean? Keep those two cats together, man. Let them be the anchor to our defense, bro. You know what I mean? They provide energy. If they could just stay healthy, that's the key. You know what I mean? But if not, you know what I mean? Moving Mitch to Dallas puts him closer to family and friends. Gets him a bag as well. So a lot of things, man. I'm excited for this offseason because I think it's a lot of moves that we're going to be able to make. But once again, you know what I mean? Cass B is so funny how Twitter works. I love it, man, because I'm the same way. You know what I mean? Cass is just like, we don't need a signature move. We need to stick with the youth and development, man. I love that. You know what I mean? And we've been doing that. And that's something that we've already kicked the narrative that we don't do that just the last 2 or 3 years because we've been doing it. And I absolutely love that. I think, like my video says, I think really we have the potential to be the Golden State Warriors in like 2024. You know what I mean? Because we got that. We're building something. You can tell we're building something. I just want to, you know what I mean? I do trust our front office. You know what I mean? But I think this move is critical. Last off season, man, when we re-signed those vets, bro, it was just like, okay, you know what I mean? I could, all right. Or that first free agency season, man, where we had to bring what's old boy name? Elfrid Payton back, bro. It was just painful, but we got through it. You know what I mean? But one thing I love about our squad, I'm gonna shut up because I wanted to keep this to 10 minutes. It's our youth, bro. Like quickly, it's just great culture. And that's what this team as an organization has been successful at doing. Building a great culture. That makes the losing games by close margins and losing big leads, you know what I mean? That makes it somewhat digestible because you can see that the players love each other and that they're growing. You know what I mean? But we need to see, important steps. Like what is in the like? I just need a signature move. I ain't never going back. I'm not going to back down on that. Are we going to move up in the draft so that we can draft the player that we want? I work at Purdue University. I seen Jaden Ivey. I seen him on campus. I had an opportunity to talk to him. Good character guy, competitive. And I think to put that guy with that outspoken of a game next to RJ, I don't know what it's going to take in terms of losing, but for a number of years, we've been stockpiling picks. We've been making great moves to put ourselves in a position to be able to move on a player or a situation if we see it fit. You know what I mean? So I think this is it. But last but not least, go to my channel. It's Sheer Brilliance on YouTube. Sub me up. You know what I mean? Follow. We're going into the off season. Going to be doing some great things, collabing with some fellow content creators. Once again, shout out to CP the franchise doing big things. We ride with you. You know what I mean? And the same thing applies to life as applies to our team. If there's no struggle, there is no progress. Get out, grind, beautiful day. Just got to get moving, man. You know what I mean? Movement, counteracts age. You know what I mean? None of us are getting any younger. So get out and move. You know what I mean? And we here, and we got next. I'm out. Sheer Brilliance. Peace.